Hi guys, Christinablackfeather here. I thought I would talk a little bit about this whole Irish sea moss thing. Recently there's been babies that have been hospitalized because of rickets and decreased calcium and hypoxia resulting in brain injury, cardiac arrest, things like that, which heart is controlled by potassium, calcium, and magnesium. And this is happening to infants and children younger than 20 months old. The deal is that there is a trend going on YouTube and TikTok and stuff to make this vegan formula at home to be vegan, I guess. I don't know. It's based on Irish sea moss, and they add hemp seeds and they add an MCT oil. Some of them do, some don't. If it's an infant about 2 weeks old, they'll add the oil, and then they stop like after 2 months or something. And dates in there and coconut water. And the whole premise behind this, from what I've been researching, and I'm going to be doing some more on this, is based on a guy who is called Dr. Sebi, or who is it? Alfredo Bowman is the guy's real name. He actually was not a doctor. And he had an interesting life for sure. And he was very much into health and studying herbalism and things like that, but he didn't have any sort of education in anything. He was actually diagnosed as a schizophrenic and believed that he had cured himself with herbs. So he was an untreated schizophrenic and had passed away in jail. Questions of money laundering and things like that were raised. He never got tried at the end for it. And I forgot what country he was in. It wasn't the United States. He refused to eat, refused to drink, claimed they were going to kill him if he ate and drank, so he died of pneumonia. And there's a big scuttlebutt. People say he got killed deliberately. I'm sorry, you have an untreated schizophrenic in a crappy jail refusing to eat and drink, and pneumonia can be a very fast killer. You know, this was the facts. The guy also had been tried by the state of New York, and reading through the court documents, he had they had settled everything out of court. Even though people claim he brought witnesses in that did testimonials, how he healed them and all of this stuff. I'm going to do some more digging because finding any further court documents has been a real challenge. There's a lot of modified court documents out there, and the family is currently working on a documentary about him, so they're kind of controlling all the media aspects right now. So the premise behind this sea moss formula, and the premise behind these people taking sea moss regularly, is Mr. Bowman was a firm believer that all disease was caused by mucus. You heard me right. He denied that there were germs. He denied that germs cause disease. We're back at that again. So everything was mucus. And in order to maintain proper health, you have to eliminate the mucus. And sea moss has, I guess, 100 and some minerals out of 120 something that are required by the human body. According to what he said, I'm going to do some further research on that one too. But this seems to be kind of a very cultural thing that certain vegans are leaning towards and making the baby formula with it. Part of the things I had seen with sea moss is we're getting it off of the coast of the Caribbean. There's still, because of what the pollution and the things that are happening in our oceans, you have a tendency to have something that's going to have concentrations of mercury in it and other actual legitimate toxins that are causing our oceans problems in the first place. So when this stuff is dried, and this happens with things like horalisum, which is a high-grade poison or toxin for farm animals, other things, is as you dry things, stuff will concentrate because there's less fluid in that item to kind of decrease the concentration overall by weight. You have decreased weight as soon as you remove the fluid from it. And so this makes all these toxins just get tighter and tighter together. And as I said, a higher concentration in it. So that's one of my concerns with this. The other concern I have goes back to, we're taking people are going to be mad at me, religious idea, and we're experimenting on babies with it. There's a reason why formulas were developed for when women can no longer breastfeed. And one of the trends that is happening that I've been seeing as I've delved further down this rabbit hole is that some of these extreme vegan mothers will take their babies off of the breast milk because they're vegan, and they'll put them on this homemade crap. And I'm sorry, that's what it is. And a part of their argument is that, you know, they want to go away from the unnatural formulas and the GMO stuff and on that you would find in formulas. Now, there are, quote, vegetarian formulas on the market for infants and for toddlers. The reason why there is no vegan formula is because things like DHEA and stuff like that babies need do not come from vegan sources. You cannot vegan outsource these. And they are required for brain development. That's another thing they're finding, is that these babies are, their heads are deformed, their brain development is slow, their bone development is slow. There's commercial formulas for a reason. And if you cannot breastfeed, I do advocate for using a commercial formula. Don't play witchcraft at home. And I mean the old bubble, toil and trouble type witchcraft. I don't, mean the religious witchcraft thing that I'm part of. Don't experiment on your children. If you have a religious idea or, a thing that causes you to have a certain diet that is based on your belief system, I'm not talking medical diets here, don't push this on your infants. You have a responsibility to provide the best health you can for your infant. And when you're restricting to the point of you won't even breastfeed because it's not vegan, there's a problem. They do need to have milk of some sort. And, there are formulas that are not milk-based. It depends, again, on the infant's dietary needs, how they tolerate formulas, do they have medical issues going on? There's all sorts of things. Your pediatrician is not going to just do things willy-nilly. There are formulas that are pre-digested. There are formulas that are amino acid based. I mean, there's a lot out there. And it's based on the need of your infant. It's not based on your need. And that's where the big issue is here. These people are basing it on their own needs. They're not basing it on the need of the infant. And that's me not addressing the mucus thing. That's going to be a topic all on its own. Any of that. This is really extreme and harmful. And I had pointed this out about a year or two ago about this type of formula. And now it's hitting the news. This is scary. That people are willing to experiment on their infants like this over an ideology put out by a man who basically, and this is my opinion, was a cult leader and a fraud. And I'm sorry, now they're saying his wife, one of his wives is Dr. So-and-so, Mrs. Sebi. A doctor's not an inherited title. One of his wives actually is an RN and is an herbalist. I'd be more inclined to kind of listen to her, but again, I need to research more on what she's putting out. I need to research more on what the company is putting out that they run. There's been lawsuits incoming because products have actually been causing harm, things like that. So I am going to delve further into this rabbit hole, but I just wanted to put my first thoughts out there and see if I can find more court documents that are not modified, and see if there is any more documentation that I can find directly from this man and listen to more of any interviews I can find on him, and family interviews and stuff. So that's where I'm going. But please, 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 if you're watching this, use some common sense. Your natural food for your infant is milk. And please don't experiment on your children. Okay, blessed be everyone.